In the midst of FSG's sale decision, NBA franchisees are dealing with Liverpool. Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment is reportedly interested in buying a stake in Liverpool. It's been 3 months since it was revealed that Fenway Sports Group had launched the Reds. Major improvements have been made at Anfield as Liverpool have won the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, 2 Carabao Cups and Club World Cups during FSG's tenure. A £50 million investment was also made in the club's AXA training centre. It's no surprise at the sheer number of parties linked to Liverpool. Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment emerged fairly early in the sales process. Led by Josh Harris and David Blitzer, they were interested in buying Chelsea when Roman Abramovich had to sell. But a consortium led by Todd Boehly won the race. Meanwhile, Harris and Blitzer each have an 18% stake in Crystal Palace, while their sports portfolio includes the NBA team Philadelphia 76ers and NHL team New Jersey Devils. Harris and Blitzer will have to sell their stake in Palace in order to buy it to another Premier League club. Liverpool aren't the only top team to be on the market, with Manchester United going on sale. According to The Athletic, Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment is interested in acquiring both clubs. Some of the losers in the Chelsea process are interested in buying shares in Liverpool or United, and Crystal Palace co-owners Josh Harris and David Blitzer are ahead of that queue, the report said. FSG is said to be willing to sell Liverpool partially but not wholly. Last year, Reds president Tom Werner said there was no timescale for when a deal could happen. It is a fact that a partial sale is not well received by the fans, because Liverpool fans often accuse the club management of being stingy. Although great successes were achieved in the FSG era, there is a broad opinion that the club did not spend enough on transfers. In particular, there are many people who think that Klopp has a large share of the success. Looking at the competitors, this situation is quite realistic. Manchester City, Manchester United and Chelsea spend extraordinary, while Liverpool chooses to settle for little. For this reason, the fans were hopeful when the club's shares went up for sale, but it became clear that this was a partial sale. The investment may affect the next budget increase, but Liverpool definitely needs to spend big next summer. The £80 million Premier League player is on Liverpool's radar this summer. Jürgen Klopp is considering renewing his options in the middle of the park before what could be the start of a rebuilding project at the end of the season. Liverpool are aiming for Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder Moises Caicedo to arrive in the summer. A few weeks have been a whirlwind for Caicedo after the Brighton midfielder pleaded with club president Tony Bloom to let him leave Amex Stadium before the winter transfer window closed after the Seagulls rejected offers from Chelsea and Arsenal. Arsenal are thought to have offered £70 million towards the end of the winter window, but the Seagulls have insisted it is worth at least £80 million. CBS reporter Ben Jacobs reminded that a transfer for the signing of the 21-year-old from Liverpool could not be overlooked in the summer and that the 4 midfielders of the Reds were out of contracts at the end of the season. Also, Italian journalist Rudy Galetti claimed that Caicedo was on Liverpool's radar ahead of the summer window. Interestingly, the journalist also claims that Reds boss Jürgen Klopp asked Liverpool to sign a midfielder last month. Klopp already wanted a midfielder in January and the roster for the summer so far is almost the same, Galetti said. Moises Caicedo is on Liverpool's radar, he said. Liverpool's interest in Caicedo looks long-term. The Reds were said to be one of the teams in the mix for the Ecuadorian star in January, before Arsenal's £70 million bid moved to get them out of the water. It will again be a fair race in the summer as the 21-year-old stays in Brighton. Whether Liverpool will be included in the transfer race may depend on what Caicedo will reveal for the rest of the season. It was impressive up to this point, that's for sure. The 28-year-old Ecuadorian has had a good campaign so far and has made 19 Premier League appearances. He provided both a single goal and an assist in these matches. According to FBref, the Dynamo compares favourably with its positional peers across the continent. In addition to the 5 big leagues of Europe, he is in 16% of the midfielders in the Champions League and Europa League with 2.8 fights per 90 minutes in the last 365 days. Caicedo's defensive side is quite impressive. He has the edge, as evidenced by the fact that he averaged 2.9 tackles and 1.4 interceptions per game over the current Premier League campaign. Therefore, A move for Caicedo could be a logical option for Klopp in the summer, as he wants to bring a new-looking midfielder to Anfield next season, a crucial 12 months ahead for the German head coach. But how will he react on the pitch with his dream transfer taken away by Brighton? If he keeps up with the same levels, he'll have suitors of the same caliber in the window. Probably without Champions League football, Liverpool may not be as attractive as ever, but they will still be there. All in all, arguably the more interesting part of Galetti's update is the first half. According to the reporter, Klopp originally wanted to sign a midfielder last month. Ultimately, the decision was that Liverpool would stick with what they had for the rest of the season. This seems like a huge mistake for the club, but one they will now have to live with. To Asian Lionel Messi, Liverpool. Liverpool's offensive options may seem complete with the arrival of Cody Gakpo. The arrival of Gakpo means there are plenty of options for Jürgen Klopp on the left wing. On the right, however, only Mohamed Salah is truly comfortable in the position. Last season, Diogo Jota played there from time to time, but he looked more comfortable on the left and failed to make an impact on the right. Harvey Elliott has stepped in this position a few times recently, but nonetheless, he's been used mostly on the left offensively this season. Considering that Salah is now entering his twilight years, the Egyptian is poised to turn to the wrong side of 30 later this year. Sooner or later, the ravages of time will seize his body, just as it does for everyone else. And to preserve its longevity as long as possible, Liverpool are looking for ways to minimize that cost in the years to come. One such possible solution is, of course, to reduce their minutes in the team. Right now, if Salah plays too many minutes without rest and excessive playtime is damaging to his body, this could potentially accelerate the aging process. To prevent Salah from becoming a victim of overplay, Liverpool are exploring finding a replacement option for the Egyptian. Such a star may have appeared at the World Cup. 24-year-old Ritsu Doan was the star of Japan's impressive run at the tournament in Qatar. He scored against Germany and Spain and finished the tournament with 2 goals in 218 minutes. A typical right winger with an explosive nature and ability to get in from the right in the same way as Salah, Doan was not only impressive in the tournament. He's also been a linchpin in Freiburg since coming to the Bundesliga team this summer. Doan has already contributed 9 goals for the team in all competitions and is the 3rd highest contributor for his team in the Bundesliga. He's a player who likes to take over players, but is also very tactically intelligent, and seems well suited to a system like Klopp's, where the attackers have to defend from the front. Doan ranks 3rd among attackers in the Bundesliga with 8.1 successful defensive actions per 90 minutes. He also won 63% of his duels with 7.5 defensive duels per 90 minutes. This type of defensive disposition makes it a valuable asset. Not only would he give Salah offensive protection, but Doan could have been brought into the dying embers of the game for the Egyptian to defend Liverpool's position. The Bundesliga's official website has labeled him a Japanese Lionel Messi, which can only be a good sign. The Japanese international admitted to ESPN earlier this season that he still dreams of the best move. Doan said, "The bad thing is I'm not happy, but the good thing is because I'm never happy, I always want to get better and better. It's kind of weird that I'm still 24, but I already have 5 clubs, but I can honestly say they are all great clubs. But if everything is going well, I should play at a bigger club, so I'm not happy," he said. If a club like Liverpool knocks on the door, Freiburg will definitely not get in the way.